Hi, just before going into one of the other greenhouses, have a quick look at a couple of plants that I missed on the earlier video. This particular plant is Melananthus major, honey bush they call it, endemic to South Africa but climatised in India and Australasia and probably in other parts around the world. This has done very well this year. As I say, it got through the winter without being cut right down. It has flowered, so unfortunately I can't show you what the flowers like, but it's quite a nice plant. It grows to about 6 or 12 feet, but not here. Going across quickly, we've got a plant which is an aroid, the arum family, Dracunculus. Excuse the incinerator at the back, where I have a little burn up occasionally. This plant, unfortunately, it has passed its flowering stage. You can see some of the actual flowers, or the old flowers, and as the colour of the flower probably indicates, it produces a very unpleasant odour. In fact, it stinks, but that is the interest of the plant, to attract insects and other things to fertilise it. Dracunculus, that comes from a bulb that I've had several years. Anyhow, let's have a little look in one of the other greenhouses. As I say, excuse the mess. It's quite a job keeping everything clean and tidy, but let's have a look. This is the house which houses mainly cacti, but there is the odd succulent here as well. One of my finds at the boot sale, this is going back several years, was a species of a puntia, and the one you can see there in flower is an Opuntia, which the seller said was from a plant they brought back from Malta. And funny enough, I quite believe them, because since seeing that, I've seen films of Malta depicting the cactus vegetation there, and that one was certainly noticeable. It flowers very well. Opuntias are not normally kept in greenhouses. They do get large, but I've got the space, so I put a big pot in, and it's been there several years. I don't know the name of it. It's just known as the Opuntia that has come from Malta. So if anyone else does know the name, please let us know. I'd love to know. Anyhow, next to it, just in front of it, we have another Opuntia. Before I say that, also notice the fruits. These are called prickly pears, and they are edible. Yeah, I haven't tried them. Getting back, the plant in front is Opuntia elata or Nopalia cochineae. It's the cochineal plant where they used to cultivate cochineal. I think another name is Nopalia. But anyhow, I can't remember where that plant came from. I think it came from someone that was selling a collection many years ago. But that too flowers. It's virtually spineless, but I'll go to the top, there are some spines. What I must say about Opuntias is they have extra set of spines called glochids, and they are barbed, and if you touch them they will stick into your hand or anywhere else where they touch. So handle with great care, because they're a hell of a job to actually take them out. Various tricks you can use an adhesive tape sort of taped to you, and then pull it off, and hopefully it pulls the spine out as well, or the glochid out. Only found in the Opuntia tribe, which includes Prescyopsis, which are normal looking plants. Coming round, we have another species of Opuntia. These ones were little souvenirs I brought back from Italy. Went to a campsite, and that one that we're seeing now definitely was a little cutting. It's not stealing, it's acquiring. That's the word I like to use. It gave me a chance to have a new home. The plant to the right of it came from a friend. It's a nice one. Look at the colour of the pads. Very sort of a lightish, purplish, pinky colour, bluey. Coming around a bit, we have the old the bunny rabbit plant, as the Americans call it. Opuntia microdaces. That definitely was a cutting I brought back from Italy. And the pot next to it is a cutting of that other one we've just seen. The little plant in the pot at the bottom is a species of tephra cactus. Turning round, at the back we've got Crassula, I think it's Argentea or that type. They grow quite large. Next to that, over the back, which we can hardly see, is Agave Victoria Regina. It looks like it might send up a flower spike. If it does, it'll come up so high that I'll have to take a pane of glass out of the greenhouse to let it grow. Once it flowers, it's monocarpic, which means it flowers but once. The plant then dies. So in a way I'm hoping it's not going to flower. If it produces new plants around the outside, then continuity exists, and I won't lose it. But we'll wait and see. Coming round a bit, we've got the old favourite there, which is an aloe, which is supposed to cure all ills. The name which has slipped me. Unfortunately, as you get older, the old memory goes. If it comes back, but by the time I've done this, I'll let you know what it is. But it's the one they show on beauty products and all that. In botanical literature, the plant doesn't actually exist, but that's the one they use. And if you cut the leaf off, you've got burns or anything, they say if you rub that on the skin, it does it good. I dread to think what would happen if you actually ate a bit. I think you'd be on the run for quite a few days. Behind that we've got cissus with a little leaf at the top. It's one of the cissus species which is related to the grapevine. Another Opuntia, which is the same as the ones we've seen. There's several cuttings of that. In front of that we have a Caudex plant. You can see the Caudex, which in nature would grow below ground, but in England you grow it above ground, so it doesn't rot off. I think it's Gerodanthus species, Gerodanthus macrohyzus. I'm not too sure, but it's a relative of the cucumber. Coming round there we've got another aloe. This is either Aloe ferox, ferox meaning ferocious, or Aloe marlothii. Marloth was one of the very early botanists associated with our plants, Cacti and Succulents, and often you'll see a name, Marlothii, or the botanist that originally described the plant. Next to it we've got another Reginae, Agave Reginae. Here we have a hybrid which is producing some beautiful leaf formations. That too is another Victoria Reginae which is not doing very well. Here we have a typical cactus. This one I think turned up at one of the branch meetings. Notocactus herterii, and with a ring of buds on top. Notocactus herterii. Placing that back. A few small plants. That is Lophophora williamsii, the mescal button. The native Indians actually use this. They cut the plant away so it branches again in a few years' time, and it's used in various ceremonies. It causes hallucinations. It is a drug related to LSD. I haven't tried it. I don't want to ruin a nice plant, and I want to keep control of my senses. There's another species. This is the name of that's gone. The one at the back is a species of Ariocarpus. I think that may be Strabiliformis. I'm not too sure. As I say, as you get older, memories vanish, and things you remembered as a kid you can't remember as you get older. Here we're looking at a Sansevieria, which is a species of mother-in-law's tongue, as they're sometimes referred to, although this one is not typical of a mother-in-law's tongue. This is Sansevieria either Stuckii cylindrica, on account of the old leaves, which are virtually cylindrical. The younger leaves are a different shape. This actually came off a plant that was being shown by the other Kirstenbosch Gardens at the Chelsea Flowers Show several years ago. They were given the cuttings away, and a friend of mine grabbed them. Very grateful for that as well, because they have turned into very nice plants. Slow growing. This plant, along with the other Sansevierias in winter, are brought indoors, and they sit in at the porch window to get a bit of light, but also a bit of warmth. Now, just finishing off in here, some more Apuntias. This is Apuntia cylindrica. Notice the rudimentary leaves. Cacti in some cases have leaves. Prescia I've talked about, but this is an Apuntia with leaves, but they drop off after a while. Still got spines, and hidden at the spine base, the areole, are glochids, and they're those horrible things which stick in. Next to that we have Apuntia, it's either vesticer or flacosa. Vesticer means clothes, wearing clothes. It refers to the wool, and this too has quite a display of leaves, but they're rudimentary. They will drop off, they will dry and drop off, but it's got a nice coat. As I say, it's either vestitor or flacosa. I think it's vestitor. Vestitor comes from the Greek or Latin, means dress or clothes. And this little plant reminds me of a holiday I had in Italy. We were at a campsite and there was a bowl of some dying plants on one of the thingies out there, and I thought, well, they won't miss a little bit of that, and I took one or two little pads, which a pad is one of these things you can see. It's variegated and it's coming on quite fine now. If you look very careful, you can see new shoots coming up. In front of that we've got a tephra cactus. It's also closely related to the opuntias. Lo and behold, another Victoria reginae. We've got a Gasteria verrucosa. Gasteria gets its name from the shape of the flowers, which unfortunately I can't show you one because I haven't got one in bloom, but they're shaped like a stomach. And gaster means stomach, so it's Gasteria. In the front of that we have what the Americans call the sand dollar cactus, and that is the genuine shape. There's a lot of hybrids of these going about, but this is Astrophytum asterias, asterias meaning star-like, and this is a plant that I remember as a kid, and that is what it should look like, but there are loads and loads of hybrids, selective breeding that the Japanese and others have done. Some of them are very, very nice, but I tend to stick to the true species. It's Astrophytum asterias. Look at the lovely markings. Another plant of Lophophora williamsi. These incidentally are self-fertile, which means that when they flower they will set their own seed, which is handy because you can, the wool in the centre there will contain some lovely black seeds which you can gently hook them out and they will grow and make nice plants. Next to him we've got another tephra, and if I can get it right, another Ariocarpus. At the end there we've got a seedling. I'm hoping I'm getting it right because it's getting light in here and I can't always see what I'm looking for. There, that's what I'm looking for. That's a Pachypodium. Pachy means thick, referring to the stem and the base. Pachypodium is probably Namaquanum, the ghostman plant of South Africa. These grow very, very tall and are very distinct. They tend to lean in one direction, often called ghostmen, the fact that people thought they were raised spirits of people that had kicked the bucket. Pachypodium namaquanum. Slow growing, very nice plant. That is a very young seedling. And to round off, just at the bottom of that little tray, a few more plants. Another agave, some more tephra cactus. This one there is Neogamesia, which is also known as Ariocarpus. Neogamesia agaveoides, on the fact that it resembles an agave. Very slow grower and not easy. A nice little aloe next to that, a hybrid I believe, and behind that is another Sansevieria that came this year from Chelsea, from the same people that the other one came from. It's probably a Harnii type or variety. Anyhow, this just shows what you can put into a small greenhouse. Having a look at the electrics for those that are interested in the lamps and lighting, and the electrical bits and bobs. The fluorescent fitting there, I know nothing about. It's just used to give me light, but I know people specialise in these. I will turn it on, see if it works. It's humming, flashing. There we are. It's got one of the slimmer tubes at the end. The little fuse box, because every greenhouse is individually fused. I put them all in many years ago. Thermometer, so I know how warm it is. That's one of the auto vents, which is lacking the element that raises it. I've got to get another one. This was made by a company called Bayliss. In fact, I still believe today they're one of the best automatic vent manufacturers. You can't get this model now. The ones you can get are much more flimsy. They work, but though this type were excellent. And I think you can still get the wax cylinders. They, as I say, they activate with the heat. The wax inside warms up and pushes a little piston out, which causes the window to open, so you don't cook the plants. As that's not working, I tend to just leave the door wide open. They were talking about greenhouse bits and bobs. There's another thermometer. That one is a souvenir that I was given. It was given to me from a gentleman that used to work at Kew Gardens. Well, he may still work at Kew Gardens. They were changing all their ones to horrible modern plasticky ghastly things. This is a ceramic made of china or porcelain, whatever you like. It's in the reading scale that I understand, named after Gabriel Fahrenheit. This was manufactured by a very old company, J. Hicks, London. I've got one or two other thermometers that you probably noticed in some of the other videos I put up. This is mercury, and it's just showing just above 70. Below that we have what is called a maximum minimum, or a sixes thermometer, which consists of a U-shaped tube with a column of mercury in it. At the top you have two chambers. The one on the left expands with the heat or decreases with the cold, and the one on the right is like an overflow, but they're all sealed, and by it changing, you move the mercury columns, and above them you've got little inserts which are metal. Well, they've got a metal spring on them, and they're in the capillary tube, and whatever they're pushed up to, they will remain there. So the one on the left indicates how cold it's been, and the one on the right indicates how hot it's been. And to reset them, you have a little magnet which activates on the metal spring, and you can bring them down to reset. Anyhow, I hope I haven't sent you all to sleep. And once again, thanks for watching. Any comments, please make, be them good or bad, I don't care. It's what someone said. They don't care what is said, it's the actual publicity. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will try and make some more. I might go up and do a bulb one. Once again, thanks for watching. Thank you.